Welcome everyone to the ExamSoft training. Not exactly the ExamSoft training, but how to link your grades back into eClass. We do have resources. I'm going to show those resources at the beginning of this just to go over that, but we'll do this, friendly conversation wise. We're not gonna, it's not, direct I only speak things. So if people have questions, I see we have Erica Torres in here and we have Billy here as well. Um, So if questions arise, just yield the hand raising, um, or you can use the reactions down here on the bottom and raise your hand. There it is. You can do that as well. Um, yield the digital hand raising. So we've had questions before in the past of how do we link those assignments from ExamSoft into eClass. So we'll show you briefly just how that works. So I'm going to share my screen here and share some of the resources we already have for the nursing department, which has already been sent out that way. I believe the only people on campus using ExamSoft is the nursing department. So right here on our testing support page of our website, right here, onlinelearning.msmc.edu/testing-support /. The last one's not necessary to get there. It is in our course delivery tab, testing support. Underneath here, we have supplemental resources for ExamSoft testing. Briefly, it explains that as long as your course is in ExamSoft, it can be linked, and then the grades can be passed back using a specific setup. So within that document, I already have that opened. It would download it to your computer if you click on that link. And the basic steps are create an eClass assignment. So in my mock course I put up here, I have plenty of assignments. If I go into my gradebook and into setup, I can see I have forums, I have assignments, and many other items in my course. For this to work, you're going to be linking these to a dummy assignment. The students won't need to submit to them. In fact, they probably shouldn't. So in order to set one of those assignments up, you would go to your course and go to the section where you would want, say you're giving an exam in week 4. Going to turn editing on. Let's do week 3 actually. See, I have an assignment here already. If I wanted to add an assignment as a quiz to link to ExamSoft, I'm just going to go add activity or resource, assignment. I'm just going to call this exam 1. And you'll put any details in here. Please go to ExamSoft for this exam. Do not submit here. Little instructions in case a student is a little hypervigilant, trying to submit things. Oh, I didn't know I had to do something there. You can always just give a little disclaimer, put on the course page that this is basically a placeholder. I don't think you need to worry about the dates at all here, but you can just uncheck these just so there's no, having these unchecked, it removes it from the calendar from the course so the students don't think they have to submit something by then. And usually with the nursing department, the dates and times are clearly listed of when they're taking the test, when it's going to happen, and I believe they're usually still proctored. Yeah. So we can leave those just as is, but for the grade, we can leave it as the 100 points. And then we're going to want to put it in our ExamSoft category. So to make an ExamSoft category, we're going to add a category. We're just going to do simple weighted mean of grades. Click show more. Make sure there's nothing that we want to change. The category total, we'll just have this for this example be worth 100 points. But if you're doing this as, say your exams are worth 50% of your grade and your grade book is listed out of 100 points, this means that this ExamSoft chunk will be worth 50 points of that 100. There is a gradebook session later today about how to set up all of those parts, but this will just give us this setup for here for now. Let's see. Yeah. So now I have this category. It's 50 points overall. You can see it's out of 175 in my course at the moment, but for sake of this, it would be at 100. In the grade book, in this now, it would show and you can add the category in before you are adding the assignment. So you don't have to refresh it. But from down here under grade again, it's going to take the points, 100 of the points, leave everything the same except giving it the new category. And I did that specifically so you can see how we can move it in a second. So once it's created in the course, we did save and display. There it is. If you did put it into the wrong gradebook category, you are able to drag it into here. So ExamSoft Exam 1, clicked on the up and down arrows. And now I can recategorize it under my ExamSoft exams. Yep, and I'm looking in the handy guide we have here. It also said that we should uncheck any of those submission types. So case in point, if you do something in the wrong way, you can go back and edit the assignment again. So as long as there's no submission types, nobody will be able to submit to it, and you won't run into any of those issues. All the dates are unchecked, so nothing will show up in the calendar. From that standpoint. The other things, if you want to make sure that the students won't be able to see the assignment at all, so they're not confused on how that works, you can hide this and then make it available. So students won't see it, but when the grade comes back, it'll still show up in the gradebook for them. Right. So that is how we set up the assignment to be linked. And I just want to go through the rest of our document here with you. So Erica, how are we doing over there?
I'm good. Yeah. I just
Good.
see the courses together. I
Say
don't
again? Oh yeah, you just link the course together. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But these are what the instructors would say.
Yeah.
They'd be coming in and they basically just create an assignment,
Right.
hide the assignment, but make it available. Don't
Hmm.
have any due dates.
Hmm.
Don't have any submission types. Put it in a category.
Right.
Um, Pretty straightforward from our end.
Hmm.
Um, Over to the ExamSoft side, they do have the resources here of how to push grades from their side to us. And since I don't have an active course on the ExamSoft side to specifically show you, um, everything is configured. You don't have to worry about that. Um, but once you have given your quiz or your exam on the ExamSoft side, you're done grading it. If it didn't grade automatically, once you go into the assessment and processing, there is published grades or push grades. Um, it's going to come up here and it's going to ask you what assignment it's going to go to. And then it'll give you an option for any different score types. And you can see it gives you the list when you start typing as well. And once it comes in, if you have that 100 points, it's still going to equate to that 100 points when it comes in, and it's going to sit in the category and evenly weigh itself that way, just like any other exam. Okay, I'm just going to stop the share for a moment and pause the recording. So to just continue where we left off, and Erica, you'll probably have questions with this too, because they have towards the end of it, towards the end of the semester, if instructors are giving final exams, what they'll have to do if it's past the exam time or the close date of the course. So this is just an example course. But say to change it, I went into just my course. I went to edit settings right here, the gear icon. Scrolled down, and this course end date, don't change this until maybe the last couple weeks of the semester or the last month of the semester, because we have everything syncing on our end. So if the syncs on our end, it's going to put the course date back, and then the course date is going to change again in ExamSoft when that syncs. So it's going to kind of just cascade to people trying to do it every day and running into a brick wall. And you know, quite frankly, there's a fair amount of brick walls on this campus, but we don't want them broken. Um, but as long as you just change it to be, say it's ending September or in December 8th is the last date listed, but you have to give an exam on the 14th, just make it, a couple days later. But only do that like the last couple weeks of the course, last month of the course. Otherwise, it's just going to go whoop and put it back, and then people will be confused and such. And the teachers will do that on their own if they need to, but that's just where they do it. But to save it, they'll just save and display. It won't change anything bouncing back and forth. It'll just make sure that's available until that date. But yeah, the key points are basically you're just going to make add activity or resource when you turn editing on. Click assignment. Do exam 2. Uncheck any due dates. Uncheck the file submission so there's no confusion. Leave the grade as it is there. Going to put it in my ExamSoft category. There it is. Save and return the course. Gonna hide it and then make it available so they can see it in the gradebook. On the ExamSoft side, or yeah, on the ExamSoft side, there is, give me 1 second, let me pause my share. The resource that was in our document, it goes over this as well. The LMS is already configured. Once they've gone into an assessment or exam, they'll see processing, they'll push grades, get a little pop-up window. Once they start typing in here, they'll see the assignments that are in there. Maybe not right away if they just went and created an assignment and then went in. It might come in through the overnight sync that way. It looks like it syncs around, I don't want to say the sync time in a recording, but the course assignments will show up relatively soon afterwards, after they're created right here. They'll be able to select the item, choose how they're going to be scored, and then it'll come back in the eClass. If any of these things aren't working for some reason, like if the push grades isn't linked up and there's an assignment in there, just always start with our representative at ExamSoft. I believe it's still Peyton. Lovely human. She will help wherever there are questions, or whichever proper pronouns that human goes by. But other than that, that's really just how it links up. Do you have any questions, Erica? And
Yeah, I got an
sure.
email from Professor DeBellis.
Hmm.
He wants to know, can the sections on ExamSoft be merged for her pharmacology course?
If the courses are merged on eClass, they will be automatically merged on
Mhm.
ExamSoft.
Got it.
I do not know of a way to merge them on ExamSoft.
Okay, I'll let her know.
Yeah. But if the courses are merged on ExamSoft,
It should show up.
it would just show up.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Yeah. But only build into one course
Right.
if they're going to do it that way, because otherwise students will be able to tour in section
Yeah.
2. We'll see 1 and 2
Right.
as opposed to just the one they
Or
are
in.
meant to see. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I have another question. When I sync the
Sure.
courses in,
Hmm.
can I minimize the screen or I have to keep that open?
You have to keep it open.
So I
That
can't make it
was,
smaller?
yeah. I mean, you can make it smaller. I would just leave it open. Just don't close it. Just if you have another window, stick it on the other window. Just let it sit. I mean, I've kept it expanded and been in
Okay.
other windows and stuff and had other things on top of it,
Okay.
and even been in different tabs in the same browser window. Just don't close it out is the most important part.
So I can't minimize it either?
Um,
Not really?
I think minimizing would be okay, but there's something funky with it.
Okay. Because that's what I was
Yeah,
doing last week. And I think maybe
yeah.
that I wasn't working.
And if the computer went to sleep, it might have stopped it.
Right.
So it's one of those things that it's just a little funky
Yeah.
with the way how it sinks in.
Yeah.
Um, the last time I went in after you to try and just make sure it wasn't just something random.
Right.
Because you asked me to take a look at it, and it took an hour and 45 minutes, and that's when it stopped,
Oh, okay.
and it stopped tracking the time after that.
Yeah.
So I think that's just as far as it went,
Oh,
and yeah, but
okay.
it's yeah, beginning of the semesters that aren't like that are the bigger semesters,
Right.
it's going to take a while,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and each time the new session opens, it's going to have to be synced in, and
Right.
So like when session, I'm not sure what letter comes next, but that would open up. You'd have to just go in there and sync it and make sure the teachers have opened their courses and all that.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And when is the best time to sync the courses? The first day of classes or a week before classes start?
Um,
Or 2 weeks before?
that's going to be a hard question to answer
Mhm.
because the teachers open them when they want to.
Oh, okay.
Um, we always suggest at least a week beforehand that the instructors have a course open.
Oh,
That way
okay.
the students can go see the syllabus,
Right.
uh, look at the welcome forums,
Right.
all that stuff. Um, but even if the teacher isn't using the course, if it's an on-campus course, but they're still using the ExamSoft
Hmm.
exams, they're still going to need that course open.
Okay.
So you could sync it in.
Got it.
Um, which is just good to have anyway, because that way the instructors can always have the syllabus posted
Right.
and all those other things,
Hmm.
which are just good to have up there.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop the recording now and answer any other questions, but thank you all for coming and seeing this in post. And yeah, if you have questions, you can always email onlinelearning@msmc.edu.